We started with 15, and after 4 days of action, we are down to just 2. It's the 2026 Ally ACC Women's Championship Final between the 2-seeded Louisville Cardinals and the number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils. Good morning from the Gas South Arena here in Duluth, Georgia. We finally made it, Landon. It's Championship Sunday here at the 2026 ACC Women's Championship.
It's super exciting, Robbie. Both teams that are in it today are super deserving. Everyone's had a great tournament. There's been a lot of good games, a lot of blowouts, but nonetheless, we're here. It's Championship Sunday, and somebody's going to come out on top.
Well, all 15 teams put on a show all week long, Landon, to say the least, but now we're down to just 2, and let's take a look at them. First, it's the Duke Blue Devils. Last year, Duke were the champions, and they look to defend their title right here in the Gas South Arena. For the Louisville Cardinals, however, they returned for the first time since 2023, where they fell to Virginia Tech. The last time they won, Landon, 2018.
Yeah, they'll be looking to clinch that title for the first time in almost 8 years, Robbie. It's been a long time, but Jeff Walz has his team playing a good style of basketball, and they're really bought into his style.
Absolutely, Coach Jeff Walz has been phenomenal for the Cardinal. But for more on them and what they look to do today against the Duke Blue Devils, it's our very own Pearce Mcknight.
Thanks, Robbie. Now, before we highlight all the Lady Cardinals that makes this team great, let's talk about how they got here. First game, they played Syracuse, and they won 87-61. They absolutely dominated in that matchup. Shot over 55% from the floor, over 41% from 3, and a key contributor, Renee Scott, coming off the bench, playing 31 minutes and dropping 15 points. She cannot be stopped. Her mid-range game was absolutely insane. Could not miss a mid-range shot. Now for the next game, they took on UNC, facing their old teammate, Nyla Harris, who transferred to UNC after last season. She could not get a bucket to fall. Louisville surrounded her from front to finish. It was insane how good their defense was. They shut her down and held her to under 10 points when she averages above. The Louisville Cardinal defense just transitioned right into how good their offense was. It was a back-and-forth matchup, but Louisville came out on top, 65-57. Both those contests led to the big game versus Duke. They've played once already this season where they lost 59-58. To highlight from that game, Amari Berry was on the line down 2 with 0.1 seconds on the clock. She made the first free throw, missed the second, and ultimately gave the Blue Devils the victory. She's going to be a key player to look out for. Yesterday, she dropped 22 points. She was 9 from 14 from the field, 4 from 8 from 3. And along with that, she led the team in rebounds with 10. She's been outstanding so far in this tournament. She's going to be a key contributor coming off the bench for the Cardinals. Now, for more on the Duke and Louisville matchup, here is Landon and Robbie.
Thank you, Pearce. Phenomenal work. And Landon, that's all for our 2 seed. But what about this 1 seed?
Well, Duke had a phenomenal outing against Notre Dame yesterday. It was a barn burner, to say the least, a 65-63 win in which both teams were going back and forth, and the Duke Blue Devils outlasted the Hannah Hidalgos and the Fighting Irish, if you will. But for more on the Duke Blue Devils and what to expect for them against the Cardinals, here's our very own Richard Terry.
Landon, here we go. In nearly under an hour, the Blue Devils will make their way through this tunnel and prepare for the biggest game so far this season. Now, the 1-seeded Blue Devils had so far cruised through the ACC tournament, but it hasn't been all easy roads for Duke. Early on in the season, 6 non-conference losses, including one to an unranked USF squad. Kara Lawson spoke at this at a post-game presser, and she noted that she wants the season to feel good for the players. They want to play good competition, and they'll get some great competition here today. How has Duke made it to the championship game after a pretty woeful start? Well, they cruised through ACC play, only losing 2. Now, those 2 came at the end of the season, so question marks were raised for Duke as they approached the ACC tournament. They beat Clemson again, and then a phenomenal game against Notre Dame. I mean, they shut down Hannah Hidalgo, only 24 points, but 10 for 24 for shooting. And then Malaya Coles, a really big-time interior presence for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 0 points and fouled out. That became due to Toby Fournier. Fournier, one of the best defensive players in all of the nation, averages over 2 blocks per game. And she isn't just it for Duke. I mean, yeah, she scores 17 points per game too, which is kind of insane when you think about it. One of the most versatile players we've seen in college basketball in a long time, but they also have Tiana Mayer. Mayer, just gritty. And she's a team player as well. She wants to do everything for her girls. She averages 2 steals per game. And then there's one more girl that I really want to talk about, Ashlyn Jackson, a veteran, a senior looking to go back-to-back for the Blue Devils, and she can do it. Now, she didn't have the greatest game last time out, only 3 points, 1 for 11 from the field. So she's someone to watch because when she's going, it's really tough to stop her, as that's how this Duke team goes. But if she's not going, maybe we'll see a close game like we did yesterday. that's all on the Duke Blue Devils. Back to Landon and Robbie to finish up this championship matchup.
Thank you, Rich. And Robbie, apart from this game, obviously Duke and Louisville solidified in the field. There are some bubble implications in the early rounds of this tournament.
Yeah, you take a look at this bracket, and the top 8 seeds heading into the ACC tournament were virtually locked. But then a team like Clemson, who were the 9 seed, were able to upset the 8 seed Cavaliers, and now they've essentially punched their ticket to March, and they're going dancing. But now for the Stanford Cardinal, who were potentially that 10th bid for the ACC, they of course get first rounded by the University of Miami, and they are most likely done for this season.
Well, that will do it for our pregame coverage of Duke, Louisville, and the women's basketball championship game. I'm Landon Weaver. He's Robbie Ackerly. Thank you to our reporters, Richard Terry and Pearce Mcknight. We'll have the call for you starting at 12:45 on Mixler. Be sure to tune in.